championships. But this was, this was a tenfold syndrome. This was tenfold all over again in the case of Blue Prize. Drifted sharply, but she was still much the best. Got on course, won by 3/4 of a length over Champagne Problems under Calvin Burrell for trainer Ian Wilkes. Pacific Wind, very interesting, ran a very, very good race. She was 3 1/4, she was a length and a half behind Champagne Problems, 3 1/4 lengths in front of the 4th place finisher for Chad Brown. So that's another horse that Chad Brown might be, apt to say she's moving forward in her training. We'll ship her to Churchill. We'll see how she does. She did, reasonably well in Lexington. And these other horses, you never know which ones may go backwards and if this horse is going forward. So she could be a horse that could make the Breeders' Cup. Blue Prize has definitely punched her ticket because if she can get her problems corrected, hopefully she'll have, better fortunes than Tenfold did in the Travers. She's been very consistent. She's a horse that certainly is going to be probably overshadowed a little bit by some of the other horses in there. Abel Tasman, of course, had that puzzling performance in which he finished 5th in the Zenyatta Stakes, and so that's her, favorite status is in question. Then you've got a montage of 3-year-old fillies that are very, very good, that have been, for the most part, pretty consistent. Monami Girl and Midnight Bisou. Wonder Gadot may be a candidate for this. I believe that she is. She could be live in here. We'll talk a lot more about that based on whether she runs or she's entered in the Distaff or not, because I really think the cotillion was too short for her. The turnaround after the Travers wasn't ideal. She really wasn't ridden intelligently in that 10 furlong race where there was enough speed in her for her to sit back. We'll dissect that. But as far as the Spinster goes, Blue Prize probably will get some play, but will be buried underneath some of those horses, and that includes Eskimo Kisses. She ran a disappointing 7th in here. We knew at a 1.125, or a lot of people felt that 1.125 might not set up as well for her as a 1.25. So after this, what would any reasonable bettor be expected to think in the Breeders' Cup Distaff? It's the same distance over the Churchill surface. Is it going to be any more beneficial? And Kenny McPeak would probably say, hopefully, yes, compared to this.